Okay, we are back with take 2 of our woven wire snake stream. So we'll see if it's still as jumpy as it was before. I think it might be better, if not perfect. I'm going to need to suss out what the problem is at some point, but for now, we're going to go ahead and do this woven wire snake project. So let's talk tools and supplies for what you need for this evening's project. And during that break, I could have put on some makeup, but apparently I decided that that was not the way that I wanted to go with that tonight. So, it is what it is. So, here we go. Alright. I'm just going to kind of, see? Still jumping, still freezing me in very unattractive positions, which is unfortunate and annoying. And I don't know why it's doing that, because I don't know if it's our upload speed or what the heck it is, but annoying. That's what I have to say about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and get through this project since the stream quality tonight isn't super great. I think what I might do is get us through this particular project and then maybe take a pass on the podcast stream tonight, because I think this project's going to take a little bit longer than usual because of all of the skipping that's happening on the stream. Also, it just went black. That's fantastic. Nobody likes a black screen. Really? What's going on? So, anyway, what you need to make the woven wire snake is you're going to need some 20 gauge wire. And by the way, this is a mini snake. I had that request from a client, so we're going to do a little one today. So 20 gauge wire and 26 gauge wire and one teardrop bead. And that is going to be, oh, are you kidding me? Because I restarted everything. You're going to do this nonsense to me. Camera. I swear, why can't I just remember the settings? Why does it have to default to auto everything? Especially when auto everything sucks. Alright, better. Okay, so in one small teardrop bead, that is going to be the head of our snake. So the way that this guy is constructed is it is one piece of wire that's folded in the center, makes the snake head, and comes straight down to be our two outside wires, and then there's a completely separate wire that's going to go down the middle. So I'm going to start by cutting my outside wire. So I want my snake to be about 1.5 inches long when it's finished. And each little swoosh of its body is going to be probably about 1 inch total. So we've got head and we've got 1, 3, 4, and the tail. I want to double that. I'm going to do 8 inches. You all know that I like to have a little bit of extra. So I'm going to go ahead and cut one 10-inch piece of wire. I'm going to cut one piece of wire that's half that length, which would be 5 inches. 10 inches? So one 10-inch piece and one 5-inch piece. Yeah, I have no idea why it's doing that, but I also don't quite have the bandwidth right now, no pun intended, to figure it out. Okay, so we have a 10-inch piece and a 5-inch piece. So I'm going to start by taking my 10-inch piece and finding the middle of it. Okay, so I'm going to take my 10-inch piece of wire. Hello. There. Wow, it's like going in and out of existence. It's pretty awesome. Start by straightening it. I might also have to start by changing my exposure so that we're not like traveling into the future with this. So I'm going to take my 10-inch piece of wire. Okay, you can see it. And I want to find the center, which means that I want 5 inches. So 2, 4, 5, So 5 inches should be approximately the middle of my wire. And I'm going to grab with my chain nose, and I'm going to bend a 90-degree angle. So this is going to be the snoot of our snake, is this right here. And God, can we find some focus, please? Questions I ask myself on a daily basis, of course. Better. Okay, so this is going to be the snoot of the snake. So now we're going to make the head of the snake, and we just need something roundish to do that. So we want to make the snake's head so that it is the same size as our teardrop bead here. So we don't want to make it too big. So I'm just going to take my pen, I'm going to put it in the little snoot of the snake, and then I'm going to just bend my pieces around, and I want to ideally keep them there. I want to keep them fairly symmetrical. So that's going to be the head of our snake, and our teardrop is going to rest right on top of that. And then we do need these wires to come back straight. So I'm going to take my chain nose, and I'm just going to grab one wire and bring it down. Grab the other wire, bring it down, so that now what we have is we have our little snake head here, and ideally, this one I kicked out a little too much. There we go. And then I should have these 2 wires that are coming together parallel-ish out of the head of the snake. So there is our little snake head guy. So now we're going to go ahead and work on this 3rd wire. Okay, that's going to go down the middle of the body of the snake. And am I moving? Wow, that's a great view of my double chins. That's fantastic. I love it when the internet freezes on my double chins. That's just like the coolest. So now I'm going to take this, so much double chin. So much double chin with the freezing. So I'm going to take my 3rd wire, and what I'm going to do is take my bench block and my hammer, and I'm going to pound out the end of my wire. And for anybody who's just joining us, I don't know why, but for some reason my upload speed tonight is being a pain in the ass and is not helping, and therefore we have a bit of a skippy, laggy stream. So I apologize for that. I don't think there's anything I can do about it right this second. So I'm going to take the end of my wire, and I'm going to put my bench block, and I'm just going to paddle the end of it out. And what that's going to do is it's just going to help it stay when I put it together with my snake. Now, done with my bench block, so that can go away. And now we're going to start weaving. You are going to need a significant amount of 26 gauge wire to do this weave, okay? Like, it goes really, really fast. And one of the things that I find helpful, I'm going to go grab one. Is to wrap my weaving wire onto one of these babies. This is a Kumihimo bobbin, and it helps to kind of keep the wire from getting tangled up. So I'm going to pull off 15 feet of wire, approximately. Now you can add wire onto this project, but it's a lot easier if you don't have to. So I'm starting with 15, that's 15 feet of wire, and I'm going to go ahead and take that, and I'm going to wind it onto my Kumihimo bobbin. Yeah, Corvus, I don't know. I don't know why. I just did a speed test, and my upload speed's only 11, which is lower than it normally is. I don't know why that is, but Yeah, it's... Oh, that's terrible. I think I just need to, like, put a mask in front of my face.
Looks like you're about to flip us a bird.
I mean, it just keeps...
The internet, maybe.
It keeps freezing me in the least attractive places.
Look, the internet is really good at that.
That is true. But anyway, so I am wrapping this onto my Kumihimo bobbin, my 15 feet of cord. And I'm going to snip it closed and leave myself about 1.5 feet to work with initially. And I'm done with my hammer as well, so that can go away. I have to just only like have dramatic freezing postures from now on, since I never know. I'm just gonna have to pose.
Yes.
Pose. Strike a pose.
I think you should just do that.
I should just vogue for the whole stream.
Just vogue all the time. I mean, why not?
Well, because people think you're weird when you just walk down the street voguing.
Okay, I hate to break it to you, but we all already know.
Well, everyone on the street doesn't know. I hide it okay sometimes.
You do.
I mean, sometimes, but still. Okay, so this is important. This is the start of this. And this is like too bright. So we're gonna like get out of the Mojave Desert here for a second. So that hopefully is still bright enough without being like, we're gonna burn your eyeballs out and serve them to you. Okay, so this is the beginning of our snake. So we've got our snake head, which is the one wire bent over. And then we're going to take our second wire and we're going to just lay that down on top of your 2 snake head wires. So you've got kind of this bundle of 3 wires going here. And then we're going to take our 26 gauge wire and we're going to tuck it under our thumb to hold it, and then we're going to wrap it nice and tightly around all of those wires about 3 or 4 times. Like so. So that's kind of anchoring everything together. And what this paddle on this wire does is it makes it much more difficult for that to slip back, which we don't want, so that's a good thing. And I'm going to separate these wires by just a bit. And I'm going to start weaving. So this is the over weave, which we have done before, okay? So the way that works is I'm going to take my weaving wire, my 26. Oh boy, you did not see that.
Did we decide we're not doing a podcast?
I think I'm just going to finish this project instead, which is going to take probably until 7:30.
Okay.
So,
So I don't need to fetch you caffeine right now.
You don't. What the fuck? Why does it keep going black? I do not understand. So anyway, excuse my French. To everybody, drink if you're drinking, because it's before 7:30 and I definitely just cussed. But okay, so now we're going to do the over weave. So that means that we're going to take our wire and we're going to go over our bottom wire and around, and then over our middle wire and around, and then over our top wire. And then our top wire is the one that's tricky for some people, because what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around until our wire's on the back of our project. Okay? And now it's basically actually under instead of over on this next pass. So we're going to go under our middle wire and around, and then under our bottom wire and around, and then we're going to take that all the way around until our wire's back on the front. then over the middle, over the top, and all the way around. And then under the middle, under the bottom, and all the way around. So now we're just going to keep doing this. And what I'm going to do every so often, just like one would do if one were weaving on a loom and you had a shutter, I think it's called, is I'm going to kind of push with my fingernail those weaves closer together. Okay, we want to try and keep all of these pieces of wire fairly close, especially since I'm trying to make a mini one. I don't want anything to get too wide and too far apart. So again, that's under the middle, under the bottom, and then all the way around and over the middle, over the top, and all the way around. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to create, you can see this weaving pattern here. So you should see in the pattern these kind of straight lines that are alternating. So that's sort of a hallmark of your over weaving pattern. So now I'm just going to keep doing this until I've got about 4 or 5 inches of weave. So we could actually do semi-podcast while I'm weaving this if we wanted to. We don't have a topic. Does anybody have a topic that you want us to podcast about? Because I'm just going to be weaving this for a while. Just weaving and skipping, weaving and skipping. Because I'm so cool, I can weave while I'm skipping. And of course, now Skip to My Lou is running through my head.
Lou.
Yes. Okay, so I have a question for you, Heather.
Yes.
What kind of jump rope games did you play as a kid?
I mostly played jump rope games by myself.
Hey, same.
So a lot of mine involved counting how many times I jumped or singing songs until I ended and figuring out how many times I'd sung it. I didn't do any of the fun double dutch ones.
Now I'm just missing.
You are missing. I swear you're there.
And now I'm black, and now I'm missing again. There I am. I was getting a bobbin. Wow, this stream is really, really laggy.
Yeah, it is. Oh my.
Yeah, I never mastered double dutch. I could swing double dutch, but I couldn't jump it. I could never figure out how to jump it. But the girls on the playground, when they needed an extra rope swinger, would sometimes ask me to help. So I can swing double dutch, but I can't jump it. And then we would do like some single ropes where there would be like double jumps, or double swings, like you had to jump and they would swing under you twice. And I was pretty good at that because I could jump high.
Yes.
I probably could have figured out double dutch if I'd had enough friends to like have me do it regularly, but I was only like, the fill-in double dutch rope person for when the regular girl was out sick. I always enjoyed jump rope. The only problem being that it was, a sport or a pastime that required other people, which was problematic for me. Like I used to play cat's cradle with myself,
Yeah.
using my toes.
Of course you did.
Because I really like cat's cradle.
It's
fun.
really fun, yes.
And my mom would only play cat's cradle with me for so long before she got bored and said no more.
Well, then you should only hang out with your mom until you get bored and then say no more.
I don't know that I would ever say that I'm bored with her. There are lots of other adjectives that I would use.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then there was a double rope thing, but it was low. It didn't go over. I remember doing that. Too much Halloween fun with the internet. I don't know what's up with the internet, but
Yeah, it's really unhappy.
it's really unhappy, and it has no reason to be because it is a brand new Ethernet cable, and makes me mad. I might have to actually port over to AT&T, even though I hate their breathing guts.
Well, especially if they're breathing, that's awkward.
It's true. The guts are breathing.
I mean, that's not actually what I want in my guts.
In your guts?
Yeah.
I mean, what about like belly breathing in that?
It might be overloading because Keiko's here. It's true.
I mean, that's fair. But there's nothing else on the interwebs except for Keiko's superlative presence just in the store. So just a quick check-in with what I'm doing. So I'm weaving. So I've woven this much, and it's a little uneven, but I'm okay with it because it's a snake. So maybe he just ate a mouse and is having some digestive fun. But so that's where I am so far. So I'm aiming to get to basically the end of these wires. So it's gonna take me a couple of minutes.
I should have done one along with you.
Yours would have looked better, and then I would have been embarrassed.
Not all that. But then we could have had two snakes.
Thanks again to everyone who zoomed in for the Halloween party last night. It was loads of fun. I am developing a love-hate relationship with dry ice. I love the way it looks, but it requires too much maintenance. It is like a dog or a needy boyfriend, always saying feed me.
Or just eating your food.
Or that.
Sometimes needy boyfriends just eat all the jam.
It's true, they do. I've been known to eat all the jam. Let's see. So does anybody need another pass at that weaving pattern? Because I'm just kind of weaving here off camera, but I can do another on-camera demo if y'all
Can you
need
do
it.
one more?
Huh?
Can you do one more for me?
Sure.
So I can maybe help you?
I can. Okay, so let me get to the front of the piece. So hold on. Okay, so the weave basically has an upwards pass and a downwards pass. So on your upwards pass, you're going to go around the middle and the top, and then on your downwards pass, you're going to go around the middle and the bottom. And the thing about this weave is you never go through to the other side and then wrap around. So it's always going to be wrapping around from the same side that you're on. So this is my frontward pass. So I'm going to go around my middle wire. So I've just made a loop around my middle wire, and then I'm going to go around my top wire, and then I'm going to continue around till I'm on the back. of my wires. Then I'm going to go around my middle wire again and around my bottom wire. And again, I'm going to bring that all the way around till I'm now back on the front of my wires. And then we're going to go around the middle wire and around the top wire. And then all the way around to the back. And then around the middle wire and around the bottom wire. So going around, like, you really are literally going around the wire, but you know, pushing your wire through the middle is really not the best way to go about that. So the way that I do it is I'll just separate the ends of my wire a little bit and kind of splay them out. And then you can take your wire, and for when I'm going around my middle wire, what I can do is I can insert it between my middle wire and my top wire and pull down, and then insert between my middle wire and my bottom wire. And that's my entire round without me having to actually fish my bobbin through. And then same with my top wire. I'm going to go between my top wire and my middle wire to make that loop, and then I'm going to go all the way around to the back. So once you get used to it, oops, well that's not supposed to happen. Ah! Stop it. Once you get used to it, it's a much more efficient way of doing it, even if it does sometimes take your brain a hot second to wrap itself around the concept that even though we are going in what seems to be kind of more of a sideways fashion, we are actually going around these wires. We're just doing it essentially in 2 segments. And then again, every so often, I'm going to take my thumbnail and I'm just going to push that down. And then keep going. So I'll weave on camera for a minute. And again, I'm weaving 26 gauge wire on top of 20 gauge wire. Oh, also we have definitely decided that from now on, labradorite are going to be called doggy beads.
Dog stones.
Dog stones.
Dog rocks.
Dog rocks.
It's just easier.
Yes. That way no one has to worry about the labradorite versus labradite dilemma. You can just call them dog stones or dog rocks.
Or doggy beads. Whatever. Sorry. Take your pick.
Okay, so here we go. Keep going. Why, yes, I think I shall.
Okay. And this one you will probably think in everything. Or do you want me to go through it? Go through it, because I haven't looked through that one yet. Okay. But you're probably right. I probably will keep everything on going to hold on.
So let's see, Heather, do you have any random questions for me?
Well, what songs did you actually jump to? I mean, you didn't say what songs. You just said
I can't remember most of them. There was one of the low ones was bluebells, cockle shells, EVIV over, and when you said over, then you started. So you would like swing it low for the first part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And then over, you would start jumping over, but I don't remember any of the other ones. Because I keep, like, my brain then keeps just turning to cheerleading songs.
Fair. Well, now you have to share some of those.
I mean, you know, the usual strawberry shortcake banana, split, your team sucks like a pile of shift to the left, shift to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight.
Okay, that was not usual in my school, but it's fun.
Let's see. And then actually so when I was in middle school, I was of the mistaken impression that being a cheerleader would magically make me cool.
Oh, I thought that too.
Yeah, that's not the way it works. But, you know,
Well, I never got to find out since they wouldn't let me on.
Oh, well, see, I mean, my middle school only had a basketball team. And so we had 2 cheerleading squads, the cool girl squad, and then the squad that I was on. And we were actually the better squad, like if you're just going to use objective metrics. Of like, we were better dancers, we were, better at the routines, but we were still all the misfits, so nobody cared. And so what I actually discovered after I became a cheerleader for the middle school is that because there were 2 middle schools in in the suburb where I was at the time. And so there was an intra-school football team, and their cheerleaders were invited, and those were the cool cheerleaders. So once again, young Allison fails at magically becoming cool, because that's not really something that happens.
No, thankfully Allison grew into cool just fine.
But yeah, so they were the cool cheerleaders and we were just the misfits shouting at the basketball game. And there was one cheer it was actually pretty complicated. But I can only remember half of it, so I'm not going to say it because I don't remember the rest of it.
Cool story.
Right? So anyway, yeah. And I didn't cheer in high school because I went to the arts high school, so we didn't have sports. So there were no cheerleaders. Bad no there.
Bad no?
Bad no. I fixed it though.
Good no.
But yeah, the other thing about middle school cheerleading is there were auditions, but they never turned anybody down in middle school cheerleading.
Oh, that's nice.
Like you were guaranteed to make a squad.
No, I think I don't want them because I don't know what I wanted them for, and I've got like a little mess of glasses.
But yes, I was the kid who got my glasses broken in dodgeball. Because dodgeball is a terrible game and no one should play it ever, in my opinion. There may be some trauma speaking there. The only gym units I ever got A's in were square dance and anything that didn't involve other people. Like I was pretty good at the presidential physical fitness challenge, because you didn't have to interact with people to do it. Do they still have that? Do they still have the presidential
Physical
fitness challenge?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, my nieces are so
buff that it doesn't matter?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always killed it.
Me too,
because a lot of it was flexibility.
Well, and like I said, you didn't have to interact with other people.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a team sport. So, didn't have to worry about people throwing balls at you and things. Because I personally do not enjoy sports where people throw balls at me, which encompasses a lot of sports. Name some sports where people don't throw balls at you.
Badminton.
Okay, well, they throw shuttlecocks at you.
Yeah, they sort of float. Ping pong, even if it hits you at full speed.
I know, but it's
still made of ping pong
It's still
ball.
a ball coming at you.
It is, but I wasn't naming ping pong. I was naming badminton.
Lawn bowling.
Lawn bowling, definitely. I mean, you've got all the gymnastics and you've got the summer games.
Fair.
Except shot put, which
Well, to be fair,
theoretically you're not throwing that at anyone.
anyone, you're just throwing it.
Mm-hmm. And especially in the Olympics, but I think there are people who still have some trouble sometimes.
And these are 70% off. Anything that's
I was terrible at shot put.
and this one.
Sophia!
Hi, Sophia. Hi, Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth!
Well, you know. So we are doing woven wire snake, and I'm almost to the end. My internet is doing something really wackety tonight, and I don't know why. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out this project, but we are going to skip the podcast because I think that it's going to just be, I don't think it's going to be a smooth anything tonight. So I'm just going to finish this snake up for everybody, and then we're going to head home. Also, not going to lie, a little tired from the Halloween party still. It was really nice to wake up today and not have to just go into the kitchen immediately and start cooking.
I bet.
Though there is an absolute ziggurat of dishes.
Ziggurat.
Yes, that I have to attack tonight. Okay, so I'm making pretty good progress. So I'm going to weave for about another 1/2 an inch or so. I know, Corvus, the skip is pretty distracting, I will say. Sorry. Alright, so we are coming to the end. So I just really want enough wire to make little small spirals. This wire is obviously a little bit longer, so I'm going to go off of these 2 shorter ones. And so I think I'm pretty much there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 26 gauge. I'm just going to bind it off along the wire that I am currently on. About 4 or 5 times. Nice tight bindings.
It's a good song.
And then make sure that you press down that little end. It's kind of stabby. And then we are going to go back to the beginning and we can cut off our initial wire that we're adding.
Okay, don't say goodbye right at the end because someone wants to say hi.
Okay. Alright, so there is my snake, all woven. And now I'm just going to take these and I'm going to turn them into spirals. So I'm going to start with my round nose pliers and just make a loop, like so. And then continue with my chain nose to just spiral that up, like so. And since I have 3, I'm going to have 2 going the same direction. So I'm going to have 2 going up and 1 going down, I think. So another loop. And wrap like so. Thank you, Corvus. And then this one I'm going to trim a bit, and then I'm going to make that one go downwards. So again, loop. I don't know, am I still skipping? Am I not skipping? I don't know. I'm going to go up like that, so that I have this for the tail of my snake. So I have my entire wire woven snake now going on. It's Halloween miracle. So I've got, so Sophia, it's one 10-inch piece of wire that I bent in half, made the head of the snake, and then those came down and made the 2 sides of the snake. And then there's an additional 5-inch piece of wire that I pounded flat here and then ran down the middle, and then I did the over weave all the way down. Now I'm going to go ahead and affix my stone onto the head of my snake, for which I'm going to need just a little bit more 26 gauge wire, probably about a foot or so. And I've got my pyrite teardrop. That's going to be the head of my snake. And just drop that wire on the floor. I'm not going to go get it. I'm going to cut myself another piece. And I'm going to put my wire through the hole of my teardrop. And I want to go ahead and actually, unlike when we're doing a top drill teardrop, I want to pull the wire so that it's pretty much even. And then the point of my teardrop is going to be the snoot of my snake. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take those wires and I'm going to wrap them around that snake head that I made to secure it. So I want to pull it nice and tight. So this one on this side. Sophia, did you get snow? Because all my family people's got snow. Pull. Okay, so that has secured my drop to my snake head, but now it's still floppy because it's a top drill drop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take each of my wires and I'm going to cross them over my drop to hold it down, and then wrap it around the neck of my snake, and I'm going to do the other one on the other side and wrap that around. And that is enough anchoring now to keep my little snake head from flopping around. So I want to make sure I do at least 2 wraps around that neck with each wire. Pull nice and tight, and then we can cut that off. And once again, you're going to have 2 little stabby bits, so we want to make sure to press those down like so. Ta-da! And now we're going to go ahead and form our snake. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to pull up my reference photo for this just so I do it right.
Always smart.
Yes, I think so. All right. So we're going to go up, down, up, down. So we're going to start at our snake head, and we're going to curve this up. So what we're doing ideally is we want to actually make lateral curves in this while our weave stays flat. So sometimes you're going to need to actually use your pliers to hold that as you press it, like so. Okay, so that is my upward curve, and I'm going to take my snake head, I'm just going to kind of point him forward and a little bit down, like that. Can a gem be added to the eye? I mean, you could epoxy a stone onto the head if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, and so that's our up. So now we're going to go down. And again, my goal is I'm trying to keep this weaving flat. So if you need to use your chain nose pliers to keep that flat while you're rotating it, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go back up. And again, we're just going to flatten everything out. And then the last one is going to go down. Like so. And there you have it. Woven wire, little snaky snaky. So he's fun, and as you can tell, not a super time-consuming project, especially if you do a smaller version, though I'm actually really glad that I did this because I think this is still bigger maybe than Chesley wanted. 'Cause he's not really a micro mini, he's just like a small.
Yes.
But there you go, that's your woven wire snake. So 10 inches of wire for the outside, 5 inches of wire for the inside. And I actually did not use my entire 15 foot of wire for the weaving. So depending on how tight you weave, you may not need more than 10 feet for this. It's totally up to you. So that's our woven wire snake project. So apparently I'm not supposed to say goodbye. So what am I supposed to do now? Do you want my spot? Here,
Oh no, I don't want to be all the way over there.
Yes, take my spot.
But I don't look cute.
You always look cute.
You're wearing exactly as much makeup as Allison.
Yes, exactly. Is it Keiko? In person. In person at a Beading Dreams.
I mean, I see where to look because there's a camera right there, but it's weird.
Yes.
Say hi to me.
Hi.
I know there's a lag.
Yes, there's a lag. You're gonna it's gonna be a minute before people start actually saying hi to you.
There's a bigger lag tonight than usual.
Yes.
I
So
sit and
yay,
wait.
in-person Keiko at the Beading Dreams. Super exciting.
Here, come put your face over here too. Oh no. No wonder you're always kicking things.
I know, it's very small. It's a very small space and many things in the space, for sure. So, hi everybody.
Pretty snake.
Yeah.
I didn't see it because I was doing things.
Yes. I don't think everybody's died.
Probably not. It's probably like either
I'm telling you, it's
accidentally-
epic lag now.
Okay.
It is.
You're like monitoring it over there, right, Heather?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
frozen or is it like 20 minutes behind?
It's just very behind and freezing both.
Is this what they're seeing right now?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So,
Well, that's gonna be fun whenever it catches up to us.
right? Seriously. I think that's what they're seeing now. It may be a little further ahead. But yeah, it's been pretty epic today, which is why we're skipping the podcast. Yeah, they're still at that. Wow.
Yeah, they are. In
Wow.
fact, yeah.
They're still there.
Okay, friends. Well, I'm not gonna wait for the lag to catch up. But
Because it might be all night.
Because you might be here until midnight
Right.
waiting for that. So, but look, it's a Keiko at the Beading Dreams.
Yay!
We have proof.
I finally
She
made it.
made it.
Proof of life.
Yay!
A day late and several dollars short.
I mean, that happens when you come to the Beading Dreams.
This is very
It
true.
does. Okay, bye. Oh, that's dark. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm gonna sit here until everything catches up to the lag, though that's kind of like it's just gonna extend everything longer and longer and longer. So maybe I should just sign off. What do you think, Heather?
put in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the stream.
I tend to not play that game because
I'll figure it out. But what do you want? What kind of coffee? What kind of coffee?
Oh, so me pick.
Oh, that's new. It scared the shit out of me. That's not, I can't talk to shit like that. I've got a broken arm or something. Guys, don't talk to your dad like that. Yes, I understand that. I don't like doing that. I checked every
Dance
single
break.
place, and I couldn't
Dance break with Snake.
Dance break with Snick.
I'm gonna turn you off, please. Yes, sweetheart. You're set as my favorite. You're set as my emergency contact. There is zero reason why your calls go unanswered. And sometimes they do go through. Like the past couple days they've gone through. Like random times. Like I only said I was gonna talk to you on the damn phone. I'm just saying, what is wrong with you? Why are you in such a bad mood? Okay, well quit taking it out on me. Like why would I block you?
Have been done with the project.
Why would I block you? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, you need to take your anxiety medicine or something because I'm fine. Nobody's gonna hurt me. I'm not dead. I'm sorry that my phone is doing stupid shit. Okay, that's completely different than not answering the phone. Why are you yelling
Oh.
at me?
What? Severe weather has caused a Spectrum service outage in your area. What severe weather? It was sunny all day.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Cold. Cold is bad for infrastructure.
But heat is also bad for infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure sucks.
Like I was gonna say, does infrastructure only exist in like, you know, the window between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit?
That's pretty much
Well,
correct.
in Texas, yes.
According to my house,
We don't weatherproof anything.
if it's not 60 degrees or colder, my heat doesn't want to come on.
That's pretty much how it works. It's just like what do they call the crap?
I have no idea what we're talking
ERCOT?
about.
Doesn't
The
work
stupid
if it's
energy
not 50 to
grid.
70.
She's losing her mind. Allison, are you still streaming?
I'm gonna hold on. Okay, y'all, I'm switching over to the thank you screen. So I'll see everybody. We're not going to do a podcast because this is torturous. So we'll be back. And apparently it is a Spectrum service issue because according to them, we are in an outage due to severe weather. So I'm going to go ahead and throw